Hello there and welcome. My name is Jim Cookie. I'm in my office here with my lovely wife and business partner, Maggie Cookie. Follow her at Maggie Cookie everywhere. I'll put in the description here too at a later time. This is a live video, but you can follow me at Jim Cookie everywhere on social. I want to connect with like-minded people. And today, this video has nothing to do with connecting with me, but I wanted to share with you a little bit of my insight as a small business owner of how to handle a customer disappointment, especially if you're in the service business. In this instance, one of our companies, Spa Remedy, if you didn't catch it on the thumbnail, where you look, feel, be a better you. We own 2 award-winning day spas in the South Chicagoland suburbs. That's me and my wife here, along with an awesome team of professionals, front desk coordinators, and people that do marketing that really have helped us build an award-winning service business that takes care of tons of customers in some of their most intimate settings. And so it's most imperative for us to deliver a world-class experience with every single one. So for us, it is an opportunity for us to learn. If we don't come through on a great world-class experience for a customer or what we call a client, it's important for us to, one, handle it, and then number 2, learn for something. And actually, don't take that number 2 because I got 3 things right here that we want to talk about. So let's use an example here. Let's use an example where a customer comes in for an appointment that they thought they had scheduled with a professional to get done, and maybe that appointment didn't get scheduled, so it's not on the books. We don't have time to get into it. Maybe a professional gets sick and can't come through and have somebody fill in for that appointment, so that appointment can't happen. Or, God forbid, something happened to where that professional maybe can't do that next service appointment because of an emergency or something like that. Just using that example for me in my service business, if you're in an HVAC, plumbing, chiropractic services, anything with service, this may happen sometimes where that expectation of a customer where an appointment was supposed to happen gets canceled or can't happen last minute, creates a huge disappointment. So that's the scenario we're using today. And this is why it's so important. When you have a customer disappointment or a client disappointment, this could really be a huge impact on your business in a negative way. But we take those opportunities and turn it into a positive opportunity to be able to do something more for our business. So you could take a bad experience and hopefully create that into one of the most profitable experiences that you may have had the opportunity to do. Maybe that day, that week, that month, maybe ever. Some of my best clients have come from a negative opportunity that's happened with our business. So here we go. First thing you want to do, if this type of experience happens, you have a client disappointment. As a small business owner, this is the perspective and how we're handling this in my situation. If you're a business owner or a manager of a business, this is going to be more for you. So you need to understand, that's number 1. You got to understand why that disappointment happened. And you got to understand it from a couple different lenses. You got to understand it from your customer's lens. Whether they're right or they're wrong, they deserve the opportunity to be heard so that you can get the full story, because your people are going to have a different perspective or point of view than that customer. It's going to be different stories. So you need to listen to both of them, and you need to understand from the person that works for you how that situation evolved and happened, and then the person that was going to pay you for your service, what their experience was. And you need to be an unbiased person when you're listening to this, because there is 2 sides of the story, and the customer isn't always right, but the customer is always the person that's paying you. Am I right or am I wrong? Would you agree? Do your people pay you or do your customers pay you? Now think about that, because you want to leave this situation with that customer not only still paying you, but also paying you at a higher amount with more profitability in the long run. And here's how we do it. First, you got to understand. Once you understand, you need to take care of that customer in the moment. So number 2, after you understand what the problem, the opportunity was, in this case, let's say someone was supposed to have an appointment, no longer could service the client, they're upset. You got to understand what happened. And regardless of the story, that's why we don't got to get into all of that, is the story doesn't necessarily matter as much as what does that customer say to you right then and there? What is their problem in that moment? Are they upset because they can't get serviced? Are they just disappointed because there's nowhere else to get this service? Can we get them rescheduled? Whatever their complaint is, that's what they're giving you, a complaint. You need to focus in on that Again, regardless of your person's story as well, you got to hear it and understand it in order to diffuse the situation for your own unique story or situation. But the next thing is how do you handle that customer's complaint and solve right then and there? You know, in this instance, we'll give them a free service. Hey, we're going to service you for free the next time. We want them doing business again with us. We do not want to, and take note, you want to avoid at all means that person walking away from your business, whether it's on the phone or in person, walking away upset about how it was handled, because they're going to go out and tell 10 different people about it. Now, if you diffuse the situation and you take care of the customer, service them, and make them excited, they may still go out and tell 10 people, but the end of their story is going to be, this is why you need to go there, right? So let's talk about it. Once you service that customer, you get them completely satisfied. You're really trying to get that customer, one, to get rid of the complaint that they have in the moment. It's going to happen. It already happened. Solve for that. And then go above and beyond. Maybe it should give them the second service for free, because you want that customer to increase frequency with you to build the trust back up as quick as possible. Why? Because that's the type of customer that's going to take something from a negative all the way to a positive and be excited to share that experience. Sure, maybe it costs you a free service. Maybe it costs you a couple hours in labor depending on what you're in. But that investment is what that is right there. That investment to reacquire a customer that's already made a purchase decision with you, wanting to give you some money, and really wow them. So you as a business owner or manager can now take this situation after you what? Number one, understand what happened. Number two, your job as a manager and owner is to go above and beyond and service that customer, solve their complaint in the moment. And then number three, this is the big one right here. As a business owner or a manager, not only when you solve this, number two, do you need to increase the profitability of that customer by finding out what it is they're really trying to solve for with their service. But once you get into that third step is you really need to understand, after you get through number one and number two, how do you, one, eliminate that to ever happen again, and tell a story about how doing number one and doing number two led to a very happy client experience. So you take a negative opportunity, and that's where number three comes in. Coach the employee or the professional or whoever caused this disappointment. Maybe it was a customer. Maybe you're coaching your customer here in number three of how to eliminate that from ever happening again by making sure you do number one, two, and three. Did you get all that? So number one, you got to understand the situation. Why did the disappointment happen? Number two, solve for that disappointment and service your customer and client way above and beyond the scope of work. And then take those two bits of information by doing that and tell the story to your customer, to your client, and to the person. They need to understand both together, especially if they're going to be working together. They need to be on the same page and understand from you, the boss, the owner, the manager, whoever, how this happened. You know, if it's our fault, hey, this happened, regardless, describe the situation. Here's what we're going to do for this customer. You can do this right in front of your employees and your professionals. I actually encourage you to have them be a part of the conversation so that in the future they can make sure this never happens again. This can be a very positive experience, and really just share with them how we're solving for that disappointment, what we're going to do in the future, and how we work together to solve the initial need of that client. And that's what we're here for. That's why people are paying you for your service. You're getting paid to solve a need for the customer. So when these disappointments happen, remember why they were coming in to pay you in the first place. I hope that helps you out. Follow me at Jim Cookie. We're small business owners ourselves, entrepreneurs. We're figuring it out, how to look, feel, be a better you, not only in your own businesses, but in our own life. If this stuff interests you, subscribe to my personal channel and find me on the interweb, Jim Cookie everywhere. Be awesome.